Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, good evening.
Hi. Yes, sir. Students are there, so you can start. Just give some background about like what we are going to study. We, we are going to cover in this curriculum. And
Yeah, sure. Am I audible? Please confirm.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So, first let's start with the introduction. I am Saksham Kashyap and I'm the instructor for the Mern stack development. Here we will cover the full stack development for creation the website like using the MongoDB, Node.js or React.js like that. And we're gonna create some crazy projects as well in front end as well as the back end projects. So let's start with the internet first. How does the internet actually works? So main basic question is people thinks like internet is something like a complex cloud hanging and having some data, and we are going to fetch and getting the data over the website and like that. So any idea, anyone, what does the mean of the internet actually? Anyone?
Just a connection of different computers on different networks, sharing
Yeah.
data through the web servers or through different other protocols.
Yeah, great. So, firstly, there's a simple, a long piece of wire which is kept inside the submarines, and which is connecting, having some different computers, and they're talking to each other. So, if we are gonna talk about the server, then there is a computer which is online or we can say active for 24/7, which helps or serve us all the result we are fetching over the internet, right? So we can say like it is a giant library. If we take an example, then a library where all the books is kept, and we can go and read any of the book anytime, and uh, it's depend on the client. So web server is should be or is available for 24/7. And basically if we talk about the how, when we click or type google.com and search on on any browser, then what happens behind the scene? Let's go inside that and behind the scene. First, a user clicks on search button and having typing the google.com, then the request goes to the internet server provider. Suppose your any local internet provider like Geo or any Airtel like that. So that request goes to the further for the DNS server. What is DNS server? Is domain name system. Domain name system, what is it like? In real life we have a mobile notebook or names book where address is assigned to somebody name or someone's name. So google.com have its own IP address. What is IP address? IP address is just simple as that the postal address of any candidate or any of the individual. So if DNS server getting the google.com, then its duty is to return the IP address of that particular request back to the internet server provider, and then we'll get the specific IP address. Is it clear? Any
Yes,
doubts?
no, it's clear.
Okay. Now we have client, and we got the IP address of the google.com. Now what is going to happen is we as I said earlier, there is a long wire. We can say it as internet backbone, which is going to carry that particular IP address and go to that server, and then fetch that page, suppose Google homepage. Now that homepage will be served from the server and get back to that same wire to the client. if we if we see the actual internet backbone or the wires and some in submarine, then there is a website we can directly see over there. Let me share my screen. Please let me know once it's visible. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, see.
Okay. So there is a website named as Submarine Cable Map. Here we go. See, there is a huge bundle of the wires over the countries. Like if we talk about the India, then somewhere is India, and having these wires are under the like underwater cables. Okay, so all these wires, suppose any client wants any website, wanna search any website which server is located in the Turkey, then here is India. So the request will be going through the internet provider. Now this provider, what's the request is going to, the IP address is searching to that location and then get back to that particular location. Now the internet provider will serve that particular website, or suppose we'll type google.com. Okay, this is same as if we directly type the IP address of Google. So IP address of Google is 172.0.217. See, what we have done here is we directly searched for that particular IP address and that address having this home page. Understood?
Yes.
Any doubts?
No,
Anyone?
sir. No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now what we'll see that how the internet, how the website actually works. So this is actually a website. Okay, so we have three uh, three files for the website: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, whatever result or whatever the data received from the server to that client are in the form of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Only these three files are supported to any browser. Okay. Now, there why these different files are there? Why not only one file named as the website only? Why? Any reason? Any particular reason why these three files are served from the browser or for this server?
Just to separate the content, the style,
Yeah.
and the, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So HTML, what is, suppose if we take an example, simple example, we are creating a house, okay, building a house. Now, house is having structure, something like walls, kitchen, separation, or floor, seals. These are the simple structure of that particular house. Now, similarly, if we talk about the HTML, now HTML is, suppose, a builder which creates the structure, which I have said, that kitchen or walls. Now this is simple only structure. Now we have something stylings. So in the house example, we can say that paint or any decoration is under styling. So in website terms, we have CSS. It is used for styling the website or the content which will gonna see in amazing or awesome styling, right? If we are using only HTML and creating a button, suppose, now that button is only nothing, it's like a gray button. Now we want that button in specific color, suppose red button, which is used for the logout. Now we can use directly CSS. Now what the JS, JavaScript is like, suppose in this example, we can say electrician, which has set the wires for the lighting or fans, or suppose plumber having some connection for the water supply, right? So the things which is allowed to do something, right? Behave, or rather than only display, we have to do something or some events. Now whenever we click, suppose when we click here, uh, now the result, suppose we have typed something. So this is something the events called whenever we click. Suppose in a Facebook, whenever user likes any one post, right? So when user clicks, then something is going to happen. Not only HTML, CSS is there. So that event is called, and then that storing in the backend and that data, and then we are gonna see the notification from our friends. So the JS part comes here. Now understood this point?
Yep.
Okay. Now we are going to explore some developer tools. So whenever we are creating any website, we have to like use the for the testing purpose or debugging purpose. We have a debugging tool. Are you familiar with this debugging developer tool?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the HTML or CSS. We can write down, or we can change. Even we can do some pranks with our friends with our which are not from the or techie background. Or here's a console. So or the APIs, we can check from the network tab. Here all the APIs which is calling or using in this particular page, we can see directly over there. Right, there are some cool stuff. We will see these things later. Now, uh, let's start with the Mern. What is exactly Mern? Mern is like there some times back, Facebook in a Facebook conference, the Mark Zuckerberg exactly said that three that these days are we are giving some more priority or preference to the full stack developers, so that gonna cost to be reduced, because a single developer can work over for the front end as well as the back end part. So it will be the great reduction for the cost as well for the company. Now full stack is mean as front end plus back end. Now they announced Mern technology, which is like we are we are only using the JavaScript common for the full stack. If we know JavaScript in deep, so anyone can be a full stack developer by some using some libraries or framework like React JS. There, if we know JS, we can get a good command over React JS as well, or Express JS as well, Node JS. So these are using only one single language, which is JavaScript. So they have announced Mern stack. Here the Mern stack comes in the picture. Now, so let's move on to the MongoDB. What is MongoDB? Uh, MongoDB is like a database which stores huge amount of data. It is basically famous for the keeping the huge amount of data and manage in a very clear or efficient manner, right? Now why it can store or manage huge amount of data? Why? Because there are some concept known as the virtualization support. So it supports the virtualization. What does it mean? Whenever we are going to have some memory for storing the data, then we can store or make or build a virtual memory and store that data into that virtual memory. We'll go in depth later. Just the basic idea, it is famous for the huge amount of data we can store. Now in SQL or the structural data, there are something like table or columns, or these are in a particular structure. Now MongoDB is having no fixed structure, right? We can easily change our data from like if we want to change any data in in any of the particular column or table, we can say. Then we have something the if have you heard about JSON? What's the format or the what's the syntax? Anyone?
Yes.
JSON.
Yes, sir. What is it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So JSON is having curly braces, and inside that, key and pair, key value in a pair. We can hold that data in that particular manner. Suppose if we can write here as well. suppose name uh, so this is the JSON format, and the JSON format having a binary format as well. If we say bson, okay, bson is the binary format of the JSON. In MongoDB, what we use, if we want to change or update the data, then we can simply
Yes,
use
sir.
the bson and call a function call, right, call a function and change that data. We can simply say to the function that, hey, you have to go there and just change the data and put that data inside the function call. It's simple as that.
Yes,
No need to go in a particular manner or in a structure like we have to do in the table, select star from that table to that table. If the data is equals to this, no, there is only single function call to change the data, and obviously it has the better performance from the rest of the databases. Clear?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mern, first we have covered MongoDB. Now, E stands for ExpressJS. ExpressJS is, we can say, it's a framework, right? JS framework where it allows us or simplify the coding for the server side. We have Node.js. We know that we have Node.js for the server side. But if we
Yes,
use Express.js with Node.js, then it will be gonna more easier for coding for the server or communicate between the backend. Okay, it basically helps. So it has APIs and plugins are easily available for the Express.js, right?
yes, sir.
Now come to the React.js. It's a JavaScript library. JavaScript library, it is used to for the front end. We are whatever we see over the browser, whatever the page we are seeing, we can make that in React.js, and it's gonna be very easy or easy way or no redundant code. We have to just make a, or write a code only once, and we can use many times and as much as we can. Suppose if we take an example of Amazon. Now Amazon having header. So if we go to the amazon.com, uh, so header uh, this header is we can write that header in a particular component, and that component we can call in any of the page in the website. We have to just write that code in only once. So that's the power of the React.js. Understood? Any doubt?
Mm, no, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So it is developed by Facebook. So they have you build that React.js for the new feeds. They can change that feed faster. So they have introduced React.js. Now it become more popular than it's the React.js is using over the worldwide as well. So as I have covered that it is a component based. We have to just create component and use again and again as much as we want. Now, it is famous for the DOM based loading. What is the DOM based loading? Right. Whenever we change any data over the page, like suppose there is a cart. Assume there is a cart, right? And when we
Yes,
click any product and add to that cart, now this number is gonna change 0 to 1, right?
yes, sir.
Now it's the power of the React.js that it's using the DOM. If any changes in any component, that the component only loads on the page cause of the DOM. It having virtual DOM, which is like this is a actual DOM and there is an virtual DOM as well. Now any component changes, then that will be in the virtual DOM and it compares with the actual DOM and compares what the data exactly changed. Now it
Yes,
do not loads or reload the page again, whole page. It just changed that only single component over there over the page. That's why it's faster. We can without loading the data is changing, or we can even navigate. So this is the main fundamentals of the React.js. Now, if we come to the Node.js, then it's an server-side language. As we know that whenever there is a front end and the server side, it helps, or it is the medium to communicate between the front end and server side. Like earlier we have used PHP, which helps to front end to communicate with the MySQL. Similarly, Node.js is the server side language which helps. And let's start with the JavaScript now, because as we know that the JavaScript only the language we have to learn from the very inside, like how it works, or how the execution process is going to happen, right?
Yes, sir.
So JavaScript is in the history of the JavaScript, it's in the 1996 JS was firstly introduced or created. Now, in 1997, it was submitted. That language is submitted to the ECMA International Company. That is a company name for the standardization. To for the worldwide user can or anyone can use the JS. They have submit that into that company, and they introduce a name which is the ECMA script. ECMA is company name, and JS from the JS script is coming from the so it's ECMAScript, right? Now in 2015, the new release, which is having some new crazy features, or some addition functions, or very useful things come in the 2015, and that names as this ECMAScript 2015. And we can also say that ES6, it is very popular and very famous in the uh, world of the JavaScript. ES6 having many features from the earlier version. So it's like a new version of the JavaScript. Okay, understood? Any doubts?
No.
Okay. So they introduce some variables like let or const. Let and first they used in the previous JavaScript, they used var for the any variable. They use var. Now in the ES6 they introduced let and const, right? So if we go to the editor and see that in a practical, that so var, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So we can declare our variable using var, and get the name, any name, name 1, and we can simply go up to this. Okay. So this is very basic stuff, like name. We are giving the value of the name to the name. And now in the ES6, let name equals to name 2. Let me comment this. This is also a very obvious thing, that the output will be name 2. And if we use const, so const and let, these two are the new feature from the ES6, which comes in ES6. And name equals to name 3. Comment it out now, right? This is all obvious that we are getting the name 3. Now suppose if we change, if we want to update this name to name 4, any hints that what we'll get here? Any idea?
Name 4.
Info.
Okay, so name 4, it's being an error, right? Because we are giving or assigning the value to the cons. Cons
Correct.
is like we cannot update any value to the constant variable. It's constant. We can initialize only once. So this will be an error. Can't update. So now we know that variable or var keyword in JavaScript is a function scope, and the variable which is declared by the let and cons are blocked scope. What is the function scope and what is the blocked scope? Right. So function scope is like any function, right? And function name is fun. This is the function scope. Anything which lies inside this curly braces is known as the function scope, and the blocks scope, right? It's like any scope, like if condition, right? And true. So this is a block. This is the difference between the function scope and the block scope. So as we said that the var keyword is function scope. So the scope of the var the any variable which is declared with the var keyword, its scope inside this, only inside this function, and the let and const scope is inside this block. Now let's take an example of this. There is a function named as fun, and the value, right? And if we say if condition is value, then we are giving this variable by the keyword var, and name one, and var last name equals to name 2, log the my name is, we have to concatenate the string and name 1 and space, then last name, right? What will be the output here is we have used var keyword for these variables and calling here. So as we said that var is the functional scope, right?
Yes.
So it can be accessed throughout the function. It
Yes.
If we use here, so let me the output or so name is okay. Sure, we haven't called the function yet. One. Now the result is my name is name1 and name2, because this is the function scope we can access throughout the function. Now if we change where to let, or suppose let, now let is only block scope. We can access these two variables only inside this particular block. We cannot access these outside that block. Okay, so last name is not defined, right? If we have changed this, then name1 is not defined. Or same case with the const keyword, both are the block scope. So output is not gonna see here, right? Now if we can say let me make a function where equals to the name value 1 equals to ABC. If this is true, then var equals to value 1. So now I have changed this value, right? PQR, and log the value 1. Any guess what will be the output? We have initialized this inside the scope as well.
Undefined because it's under the block scope.
No, we have again we have update that value, right?
But we're
So
using the
to the
variable, right?
PQR,
Yeah.
Can we use the variable, the var keyword, inside the block scope?
Yeah,
yes.
actually var keyword we can use anywhere in the function or the code anywhere, and it is available or accessible throughout the function. Here in the previous example, what we have seen that if we write here the var, right, and here as well, so we have initialized in the scope, right, and accessing the or finding these names outside this block, it is accessible. We got our output as the name 1 and the name 2. No issues with that, cause it's an higher priority, we can say in this way,
Exactly.
that
Yes, sir.
okay. So it has no limitation any. So because it's available in the earlier version of the JavaScript. Now these two let and const are
Within the scope of the block.
yeah. Yes, yes. So now what we have done is reinitialize or updating that value 1
Yes,
and
sir.
now printing. So output will be PQR.
PQR. Yes, sir.
Now if we call here this value again, now what will be the output?
So ABC because it's
ABC.
beyond the scope of the if block.
Okay, but it will be PQR 2 times. Yeah,
The
because
last value.
actually var keyword is functional scope, right, and we can access throughout anywhere in the inside and in the entire code, and we have updated this here. Now this var and this var both are the same because initialized with the var keyword, not the let keyword. So
Yes.
these two values are same and updated here,
Okay,
and
yes.
we are getting there, right? Okay, and if we initialize it with the let keyword and here as well let keyword, now what will the output?
ABC.
ABC.
2 times. What will be the here and the what will here?
PQR
PQR
and
and
ABC.
ABC.
Okay, nice guess. So it's scoped ends here inside this, and this is the outer scoped. Now same if we say the like const. Now
The constant value cannot be it will be undefined in the first one, and in the second one it will be ABC
why here it's undefined?
because it's a constant.
Yeah, okay. Whenever we are using the blocked scope, okay, so blocked having its own memory or its own block, and we are giving or assigning a new variable here named using the const keyword. So var is having like the same, we can access throughout any inside or outside, but here it this const is only accessible over here, and now if we are using here, now it's not updating, it's creating a new variable. See PQR and ABC. Why PQR here, right? So this is a scoped which is the like you can say block scoped, okay, block.
Yes.
Here it's block, understood. Now in the
So
block scope, this value 1 ends inside this only, right? So
yeah.
no any like ABC is sure here. Okay, now
Yes.
come inside this scope. Now what we have studied, that the const is only for the block scope. So now its block is only till here. Not if we are giving or assigning the new value, then it will be the new variable, not this that same. That is case for the var keyword only. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now where or we have seen now the stamp type string. Okay. uh, as in the previous ES5, the previous version of the JavaScript was ES5. Okay. Now whenever we wanna print any string, like my name is Saksham, and we wanna concatenate two string together, and my last name is Kashyap. Now we have to do in this way. Okay. Now the output will be the only single string. Now what ES6 introduced new thing, that ES6, the log console log, and what we can do is using the backtick here, which is the just below the escape button. This care, or we can directly use in this way. And my name is this, and okay, some random test. Okay. So ES6, what it says, that you have to use these backticks, and you inside this you can use we can write the our string. Now what is the difference over there? Right, it's looking same, right, in with the previous one. So what it says, uh, output will be the no, nothing new, right? Now let's declare the variable 1, and giving the value 1. Now value 2. Okay. Now log this in the ES5. In the ES5, if we wanna print these variable inside the string, what we have to do is again concatenation. First number is we have to concatenate with this variable var1, and then plus the var2 plus var2. Now this is the simple statements, right? But whenever the output is first number is 1 and variable 2 is 2. Now in the ES6, the new thing is we can directly write in this way. So in the this is the backtick. Now first number is, now we can use or call these variables without using these complex statements, right? We can simply write in this way, using the uh, in this way, right? Using this symbol before the curly braces, and inside this we can write our variable var1, and write we don't have to give this plus again and again. We have to just
Yes.
simply write this statement, whenever we are using any variable or any JavaScript thing or dynamic thing, we have to write in this way. And where 2 is, again we have to use this symbol, and where 2. Now this looks simple. Output is first number is 1 and where 2 is 2. isn't simpler than the previous one.
Yes.
Okay, so this concept is named as the string, or we can say template literals. This is the template literal we have just used here. Understood?
Yes.
Or people say that it's a template strings as well. Both are same stuff. Okay. Now or we can say that the if there are some mathematical or any expressions, suppose a having 20 and b having 30. Now log we can write the sum of a b, we have to use plus. Now a plus b and plus again string, and whenever we want any new line, then we have to use the backslash n,
Backslash.
and right, and if we have plus some another expression like 2 cross a cross b, and then full stop, like that.
Yes.
Okay, now output is sum of A and B is 50, and this expression results in this, and here's the new line. Now using template, or this new feature template literal, we can directly write this statement in a very simpler way. That first copy this, and using the backtick inside this, this is the string, and over here we have to use this symbol, and what I have to use here in for this expression. Hello.
Yes, sir.
The curly bracket, right?
The bracket.
Yeah, right. Now this slash n, or this keyword, or we can say if we want to take any new line inside our string and we are using the template, then what we have to do is simply ignore this and enter, right,
Wow.
and you can directly use without giving this slash n, right. And this is again expression, this is also inside this. Now see, this is a huge gap because we have used here these spaces, so it is considering these are the space. So what we have to do, if we want to just give the output similar to this, what we have to do is like this, and here we go. Okay, now this is space, right. So these are the string templates, or we can achieve in this simpler way. Or any doubts related to this?
Can we still use the backslash n in the ES6, or
If we like here,
yeah, after that?
okay, so if we directly use here, so it's considering as the new, it's like a string. Okay, so here it's considering it's as an string. So what we have to do is we have to again
That's the other
giving
side.
this inside this, so it will be considered as the as not in a string, right.
Okay.
Okay, wait for a moment. Allow me a minute. Okay.
Sure.
Sorry for interruption. Uh, so next concept is the array destructure. Okay, now we have an array. Suppose the array name is the array. What is any properties of the array? What it is exactly?
So it's a collection of elements of the same type of variable, same
Yeah,
data type.
exactly. So suppose we have array, and inside the array it's a collection of the strings, and the strings are like languages and C or Python.
So I had a question in Java. Is there any in JavaScript? Is there any rule for using single quotes versus double quotes?
Yeah, we can use single as well as double for the
Okay.
string, no issues. And one thing also which is the new here, it's we can not if we do not use the semicolon, then it's totally fine. Yeah,
Yes.
it's for our assumption, or we can say that for comfortable use, or user uses this or not. Totally depends. Okay.
Yeah.
Now Java, or so in ES5, the if we wanna store these values in variables, so what we have to do is var 1 equals to, we have to assign the by the index, like this. This is the simpler way. All the values we have to write by via their index. Okay. Now 1 2 3, 1 2 3, or suppose there are 100 of values, then we have to write in the same manner, again and again declare the new variable. And if you wanna print these variables, then we can simply print like that, var 1 comma var 2, or anywhere 3. Okay, so this is the sorry, ar1, it's here, it is array 1. Okay, so this is the very complex method, or we can say if there are tons of values, then we have to use this same method. Now in ES6, the new feature is the array structure. What is it? We have to write in in a single. We can write these things in single line. How? We have to give the variable name inside this, and var2, var3, and var4, and 1 to 3 4 5, use var5, and equals to array, and just like that. What it is exactly behind, what is how it works behind the scene, that array having these values, now it structure this array inside this value and maps all the value, like var1 variable 1 having this js, and similarly variable 2 variable 3, and these are the mappings, and we have done the array destruction. Now if we print the any variable, like var 4 1 2 3 4 will be the python, right? Understood this concept? Destruction. Any confusion over there?
No, thank you.
Okay. And if we wanna see the, suppose there is a huge value inside our list, and we just want to give we just wanna have only two values, suppose the first value and the last value. So what we have to do, is or either we can write in this way where value 1 equals to array of 0. Now after that we have to calculate its length, and then we have to use the array of length minus 1. In this way we can achieve that, but it will be the complex one. We have to first calculate the length. Now in the ES6, the using this concept, what we can do is simply write in the way let or the variable 1 we want, and if we want to skip these values, so we can write in a, so one value skipped. Now second value skipped, third value skipped. Now we wanna last variable, right? So 1 2 3, these three values are skipped over here, and we are going to declare the only two variables from this array or the list. Now if we log these variables, var1 var2 JS and Java, first is JS and last one is Java, right? Or we can simply declare the variable first and variable second, and after that we can if we want to assign the values, then we can write below this the declaration and assign the value variable 1 variable 2 equals to array. Now it will be saving the first it by default. If we do not save or giving the variables up to that all the values, then it will be by default it will be saving the only the number of variables. So variable 1 and variable 2, it's like JS and the PHP, right? Or using this concept, there is a famous problem in interview as well. This we have to swap the two numbers without using the third variable. Have you heard about that problem in C or C++?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
common.
sir.
Okay, so we have to use some expression like a minus b, or b
Yes, sir.
equals to b, something like that. So in JS, what we can do is, using this array destruction concept, we can use simply suppose a having 10 and let b having 20, then a comma b. Okay, now
Yes,
in the above explanation, what I have explained, that we can destruct our values from the array. So we can give this as an array by the square brackets and the b and a. So this is the similar way we have done earlier, that we have passed the array. So this is the list of the elements. Now here this is also the list of the elements, and here what we have done is simply storing that values in this manner, that b gonna map with a, and value will be stored in the b. So the variables a comma b, and with previous and after. So 1020 and 2010. So this is one line answer for that particular question. Okay.
yes,
Okay. Now after the array, we have some objects. How we can define our object obj1 equals to using the curly braces and the key and its value, name 1, and we have to use comma and age 26. So this is the sample of the object in JavaScript, and if this is the number, we can simply give this as a number as well. No need to use the same data type of the all the keys or values. We can simply give any values, right? So now we have done the destruct part from the array. Now it's time for the object. How we can allocate that values from the object to the variables in the ES6. Let if we wanna destruct this like this and get this object one, this is a similar. What is the difference over here? Like we have used the curly braces, not the square bracket. Okay, so because this is the objects, we are storing from the object. Or now name one. So one question over here is, can we use any different name here, like name, if I don't want to give this name and I want to give this as first name, is it possible to do in this way? Is it valid statement we are getting from the object and storing in the first name?
The key name is not matching with the object.
Yeah, so it will be the error, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the previous example with the list, if we are storing the values in this way, then that's okay. But with this object, we are fetching the keys that should be in a same name. So it is the first name is not defined because it's not found the first name inside this object. Now suppose anyhow we wanna give this name as the first name and use that first name further in our program. Then how we can do is simply write the name and colon, give that name to the first name, and we can achieve this first name. Okay, spells incorrect. Name one. We have to get, we are telling to the compiler that here's the first where the name, you have to assign that into this variable, and we are going to use this further as the first name. Understood? Any doubts, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. Now if we have some suppose the object having the object inside the object, we have another object, like uh, the object inner obj 1 equals to another object, right? So value will be like I1 equals to inner value. We can simply fetch this value from, we have to give the name, or we have to the structure from this array object from the same value. If we are using the same value, now with this value we have to just use the dot operator and give that particular value name or key name, and that will gonna print the invalid shorten object 1. Okay, now object 2. So it's having I1. Okay, so we have used equals to here. Okay, what's the error here? I1. Okay, so this is the object having this object, and these are the values. Okay, so we have used equals here. So this is also key similar to the name and age. Now the one most famous or new concept in the ESX is arrow function, right? Arrow function is before what we have to do if we want to use the function, then function, and we can store this in a variable or where sum equals to function. Now assigning or declaring two values 5 and where b equals to 10. Now return a plus b. So this is the traditional function or simpler one, and whenever we want to use this function, now we have to do is simply call this and it will be the output like a or plus b 50. So this is the normal function without using the ES6. If we use the arrow function, so const so now we do not use any the keyword named the function. We can simply write the uh, parenthesis and then this is the arrow, which is the name arrow function. Here we are using arrow and open the braces and the same thing we can do. So this is the simpler one. We don't have to write function and giving the name like that. So okay, now answer is same. If we change the value, answer is 25, right? Now it's more easy way to use this arrow function is in a single line. So it is famous as if we can use a function or define a function in a single line. What we can do is simply write here what you have to do is return a plus b. Now you have to assign a or b. A equals 5, b equals to 10. Now it is just in a single line, so it doesn't change any effect. But here the important thing is if we have only one line inside the function, then we do not have to use the return keyword. Okay, we can ignore this keyword, and if we have single line, we do not have to use this braces as well. Okay, and it's working the same way. 50 now 50 plus 10 60. So here it any confusion over here in this line?
No.
No,
Okay,
sir.
but if we have multiple lines like so we have to use return and suppose let x equals to 5. Now this is the two statements, so we have to use in this way only using the return keyword and this curly braces. Now we have used the variables from the outside. We can use these variables by giving or passing via when we call to the function. Like if we give the value 5 comma 10, now we have to catch here. Now what we have to do is a comma b, and this is the single line. Do not have to use the curly braces. Now it's working. So here how we can pass the value or call the function while calling the function, right? Now these are the parameters of the function. So suppose I'm calling by giving only 5, what will be the output? Any guess? If I'm calling a function by giving only one value and catching two values.
So 5?
Yeah, only 5. So here's I'm calling a function named sum and giving the 5 over here. Now I'm catching two values expecting it.
So will there be an error?
Error.
Yeah, but it's nan, right?
Not a number.
Not a number.
Yeah.
Why? Because in C or C++, there are like it's not having the same name function. It will be the error, then function not found. But here we are giving 5 and it will be stored in A, and here it will be the undefined, and whenever we are using this in this way by the undefined value, then it's not a number, not we cannot print over here. So suppose we want to save or we want to play with the safer side, then what we can do is giving the default parameter here comes the concept of default parameter by giving the value here. Suppose if user call this function and not passing any value, then we can simply giving the default value, it will be 10. Now if user gives another value, then it will be the override. This will override this default value, right?
Yes.
And the new thing here is strange thing where we can say that if we give the value here, it should be default, right? Same, we can give any value
Yes,
to
so the order
any
has
argument.
to be set, I think.
Sorry.
So is it because A is before, so if we put B after, then it's if we add a default value to the first parameter, it doesn't work. Is it something like that? I think C++ had something similar.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the strange thing here in the JavaScript. We can give the value to any parameter, right?
Yes. So
Okay. Now we can use here the we can use the value, or so now the rest, uh, we have done the default parameter. Now the rest parameters, what is it? uh, Rest parameter is like we have a function and some we are giving expecting the values. Suppose we wanna some 10 values. Okay, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, these are the 10 values and we want sum uh, of all these values. Now what we have to do is we have to catch all the value a, b, c, d, e, f, g, h, like that. Okay, so
yes.
and now we have to calculate or return the sum or any operation what we have to do, but this is too long way and this is too hard to manage all the values. Suppose user didn't give the any value, then we have to take care of the default values as well. So what we can do is use the rest parameters. Now function, I'm using the rest parameters. It's operate, we have to use three dots, right? And inputs we can write in this way, and let's print these inputs. Now we can simply call some function. So, so this is the concept of rest parameter. We can take all the arguments over here. Now how to access, the question is how to access inside this function. We don't have the like order or how we can similar do some calculation inside this. What we have to do is simple, we can use for loop or any loop and traverse all the numbers and then add. So I'm going to use the for loop. Let I of inputs. Are you familiar with the for loops and while loops, all these stuffs?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, now total plus equals to I. We have to assign total to the 0. Now to print the total sum. Okay, sum is 55. So in this way we can achieve any number of values while calling the function.
Yes.
Now so the question is fun a comma b comma c, for c dot dot triple dot and c, and if we pass this function A, B, C, D. Okay. Now inside this function, I'm writing some statements. I'm using here literals or string template. So print the value of A and print the value of B. And I'm gonna print C and C of 0 and C dot. So start with the first line. What will be the output for this line?
So A and
Mm-hmm.
B, A, B.
AB. Okay. Second line.
Second line will be C, D, E.
Yeah, nice try. This one.
This is C.
Okay.
Last will be 3.
Okay. Anyone have some different answer? Hello.
I think the C0 should be A, the first element of the,
Okay. A.
and the C. A little confusion is there how to use this, actually the inputs. The second one also I'm confused. The CDE doesn't sound right.
Okay. So let's first see the output here. AB. Okay. AB.
Mm-hmm.
CDE. CDE. And C and 3. Okay. So here,
Yes.
what is this? Like we are using C or rest operator here. Now
Yes.
A is gonna map with the first
A.
argument, and B is gonna map with B, and other values will be mapped to this single list. Okay, it's named as C. So it will be work as a
Oh,
previous, like we have used in this manner. This is the same thing. Okay, now we are going to print A and B. So A and B is just simple A first value and second value, and all the rest three values is handled by this single variable or list C. So its output is AB. C is having only this CDE. So output is CDE. C of 0 is C of 0 is the C. Now length of this is 3. Now doubts clear?
yeah.
Okay. So there is an operator similar to this but having different functionality named as the spread operator. Now it's function A, B, C. And print A plus B plus C. Now var of array equals to 5 comma 5 comma 3, and uh, calling the function. Now the what we wanna achieve, that we have to call this function and pass the three values from this array. What we can do is, sorry, so I was telling that this is a function, and we want to call this function and pass these three values from this array in simpler manner. How we can achieve? First way, anyone, how we can do, by giving these three values. Any simple way,
Um,
like in C or
mm,
C++, how we can achieve this?
mm,
This is an array.
yes, sir. So we
So,
could use a loop.
but we want to call this function only once by giving the all these three values.
Okay, so then we can just put some ARR.
Some ARR.
Yes, sir.
So this is an array, and we have to use
Pass.
all three values.
Mm,
Let's check
uh,
this out. Array.
So we
dot
add
dot.
zero, add zero, like
Mm-hmm.
the index of the each
Okay.
element.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is this where you use the spread operator so it like breaks apart the array into three parts
Yeah. That
individually? Okay.
here here this spread operator comes, like if we don't want to use in this way by the giving the indexes, we can simply give the name of the array and we have to use three dots here. Both the operators looks like similar, but the functionality is different. We are
Yes.
giving the array by spread, so it will be spread all spread over this function's argument. Now the value of 5 will be a, this b, c in this. Okay, so the array is undefined. Anything. Okay, 5 comma 3, what's array? Array is undefined. Okay, has been already declared. Okay, my mistake. Now output is 13. 5 plus 5, 10 plus 3, 13. It is printing in this way. So these two operators, spread operators, and the above rest parameters, we have to use whenever we are giving the arguments, we have to use the rest operators, and whenever we are calling the function and we want to spread over all the arguments, then we can use in this way. Okay, any doubts till now?
Mm, no, sir.
Okay, now so we can use, suppose we have three arrays, array 1, 1 comma 2 comma 3, values of 4 comma 5 comma 6 and comma 8 comma 7. Now we want to we want to make an array. Suppose we want to change this array and assign all these values to this array. So what we have to do is we just simply concatenate all these three arrays and make this array to the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 till 9. Okay, so
Yes.
there is an we can simply like use the spread operator and spread array of 1, now spread array of 2, and spread array of 3. So here array of 1 is are keep holding these values, only these values. Okay, so it will replace 1 2 3, and this variable or the operator replace 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now if we don't use this square brackets, then it will store only the values. These are only values, so we wanna keep this in an array. So that's why we have used this, and array 1 will be the whole array and concatenate the, let me print this, array 1. So this is the whole array, Any doubts in this line?
No, sir.
Okay. So I think we are good, and we'll continue. Tomorrow is the second class, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So well, we'll continue further by tomorrow.
Yes.
Anyone, any doubt which we have covered, like how any like internet or server or client up to the in the JavaScript concept? Any doubts?
No, sir.
I think we'll just practice some of this, the rest parameters and spread operators. Those are
Yeah.
pretty much new concepts, totally
Yes.
not.
Yes.
So once we'll do some, write some programs and see if we have any doubts, then we'll
Sure.
ask you.
Sure. Sure. Definitely.
And will we get the recording of this session or
Yeah.
okay?
Yes.
Anything we need to do for tomorrow's class? Any assignments?
You have to just go through all these operators and loops or arrays, and the like basic DS questions, like uh, how we can find the factorial or palindrome or any basic questions which comes from the DSA, and try to write down in pure JS. Okay, so that will improve your or make you comfort in this JavaScript concept, because here all these things are totally new. So make sure you use the list as much as you can by solving the problem. So try to pick some 5 questions, basic questions, and solve in the JavaScript, and revise all these operators in your PC as well. And if you want the this file, uh, then I can share. Let me check here. In the group, I'll share that file. Okay,
Perfect.
if
That'll
you
be
have
great.
any doubt. I have also commented the concepts. If you stuck anywhere, you can message me over there. I'll try to reply you. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
thank you everyone.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Bye bye.